What is going on? YouTube, Dr. Away here. Yes, I am still tired. Man, KVK is something else. I forgot what it's like, dude. Well, it's nothing quite like this that it bombards you. You're bombarded with everything, but this video is to make that bombardment a little bit simple. I think the biggest change and the biggest bombardment is the crystal tech and everything surrounding crystals. So this is gonna be a crystal tech guide. Amen. And I guess I'll start the video saying like the moment you get in here, if you don't get nothing else from this video, the moment that you get in here, you're going to start with 1.5 million crystals. Go ahead and get the crystal mine to level 25. Now, 1.5 million crystals might not be enough to do it, but you'll be able to get crystals in other ways very quickly as soon as you enter. Okay, and the reason why that is that the crystal mine is one of the main ways that you're going to be able to produce crystals. So for resources, you queue it up and then it produces crystals. So um, the higher this mine is leveled up, the more crystals per hour you'll produce. And then the max workload, how many, crystals the mine will hold before you have to claim it without it basically wasting the hourly speed. Okay, so that's that's first and foremost, and then the Crystal Research Center is actually where you do the research. Is just like an academy, but just for crystal tech. And what the Crystal Research Center does when you upgrade it is just reduce the crystal costs. So in my case, it's 5%, and it starts off pretty low. Then at the higher end, you get a fair amount of reduction. Now, because of the limited amount of crystals of free to play you'll get, my recommendation with the Crystal Research Center is to just level it up as needed. At some point to develop, your technology, you're going to have to upgrade at different stages. Different technologies are going to require you to have a certain level research center. Because I leveled it up to 25 immediately, I don't know which ones are going to bottleneck you with that. I honestly don't know because my recommendation for maybe not a low spender, I feel like a low and mid spender. I think 18 is appropriate, especially because you're going to be buying the bundles. More on that later. But I went to go ahead and get to 25 from a few friends' recommendations. And, the sooner that you get, if you are going to eventually take it to level 25, right, assuming that that's something that you're doing, right, the sooner you do that, the better, because you're going to benefit from the cost reduction. Now, maybe by that first fight, you might not get your money's worth in crystals, but throughout the course of the KVK, if what you're, because my main goal, obviously, I want to optimize being ready for a fight, but also I want to optimize how many season coins that I get. And how you get the season coins is through doing the crystal technology. So there you go. Okay. So now we talked a little bit about the mine and the research center, and then the next part is, I would say, it's how do you get the crystals? Like I already said, the crystal mine is kind of the most obvious way, but there's other ways to get crystals. Pretty early on, you'll get this thing called Cal Karak. It'll open up. There's going to be different tiers at various stages of the KVK. You'll be able to do this free to play event similar to regular Karak, and you'll be able to get crystals. So at the first tier, you get almost 1.2 million crystals, which I think is fairly legitimate. So they give you 1.5, just to get going, and then you get another 1.2 million. And that's pretty much guaranteed day one, right? And then you can hunt barbs and forts for crystals. So these barbs are like legitimately tough. Not gonna lie, they're legitimately tough, but they can give you crystals, as well as the forts. I haven't tried a fort yet, but I'll try to probably do one soon. Um, you can also there's going to be these things called bastions that you can, and I'll probably make a separate video on bastions. You can do like these little quests. In this case, I gotta basically just farm gold, and it'll give you crystals. And there's actually technology in here that'll give you more crystals. So you might not be seeing that you get as many crystals as I do, but more on that in a second. Like I'll get to the crystal tech itself a little bit. You got the bastions, and then there's like little events that I'm almost certain will give you crystals. Let me go here. Pretty sure it's somewhere in here where you can probably get some crystals. Yeah, yeah. You can get crystals in this like little reward thing, some crystals. Then you also have damn, I'm tired as hell. It's one more way that you can get. Oh, spending. Duh. Yeah, the other way is obviously naturally, by spending. So there's gonna be when you upgrade your crystal mine and research center to various, levels, it's gonna be pop-up bundles. I don't think that that's where you should start, but like those bundles are very good if you don't mind spending the crystals. I mean, spending the money. Now, if you're looking for just some lower entry points, trying to see, there's the $15 premium track of kind of like this Lucerne Scrolls type of thing. There's going to be daily quests that you do. You're gonna have weekly quests that you do, and you're gonna also have for the season itself. And then the thing is like it's fairly good. So like even here, like 500,000 crystals that early is good. So I think there's probably some math behind how far you can get before the pass opens, and is it worth gymming? After 29 days, you can gym. Yeah, they know better. Lilith knows better. You can get that, and then there's also where is it here? Spending. There's also the $5 premium supply in it, and you get 60k crystals a day, which isn't like a lot, but the main thing is you get 50% more crystal mine work speed, and I think getting that value over time is really good. So for $5, I don't think you can really argue with it. Now the only issue with this is that like you're not getting at them many crystals before you actually fight. It's throughout the entire KVK. So it's like real downside to that, because if you fight in that zone 4 and that's the end of your KVK, really, in terms of like really making it to Kingsland and being effective, then it's like, well, it's not even, I would rather have used all my crystals then, so. And then there's some other obviously more expensive bundles. There's gonna Conqueror's Wheel, which isn't them many crystals, and it gets quite expensive. And it's not as many crystals as like the pop-up bundles per dollar, like nowhere near. But this is something that you can do if you were a true whale. And then there's going to be a thing called Mountain Warfare when right before pass opens. That's going to give you less speed ups and resources, but way more crystals. Like that's what the whales are more so into. And that's like all of the ways, at least off the top of my head, that you can get crystals. I'm almost certain, because I'm tired I missed something. I apologize, but right now I'm just trying to get the information to you. Okay, what did I buy? Hey man, so that you might be curious about. So when you see my tech, you don't get discouraged or think you're doing something wrong. Let's see here, favorites. So let's see where I started. This is the premium crystal supply. Like I said, I bought that, and then I immediately and I bought it in this order for a reason. Buy the premium crystal supply, $5 pack, and then the crystal quest kind of Lucerne Scroll. I got that. And then these are just straight pop-up bundles from upgrading the crystal mine and research center. And then there was 2 pop-up bundles for doing research as well. So just show you the bundles they give you. you the reason you buy these is really just for the crystals. I didn't care about anything else, but they give you other stuff too, but it's mainly the crystals. And the packs don't get above 20 bucks. None of these packs were above $20 each. And then these last two packs were from me uh doing research in the crystal mine, doing research in the Crystal Research Center itself. These two bundles, I believe. Maybe not this first come first serve, but definitely the Scientific Pioneer. I think there might have been one more that I maybe forgot to favorite, but those were the bundles that I got. And just so you can see how many crystals that I spent so far in the KVK, I've spent 17.6 million crystals. Okay. So now let's go to the crystal tech itself. So as far as like the order is concerned, the first tier of everything, you can pretty much, the second tier of everything for the most part, you can queue that up. It's not going to take a lot of crystals, and you can get just helps, and you get helps really fast because of the coalition. You can just kind of cruise through this. So the main big thing that you're trying to get to is skillful operations. One, I think for free to play, maxing that is good because it's going to reduce that crystal cost, right? The sooner you get that, the better. Then, for me personally, I decided to go all the way to, where is it? I'm trying to find skillful operations 2. Here it is, skillful operations 2. And I got that to 7 out of 10. That's as far as you can go without having to get first aid to 8, and which is just like more healing factor. That's not something that I'm really interested in doing at the moment. So this is like low spender can probably definitely get this far, and then like because you're reducing your crystal costs, I think it's so worth it because you're doing that early on in the KVK. But I do understand that you might just be looking to get as many stats and economic value as possible that's not reducing the crystal cost. There's probably some math associated with that. I'm not going to figure that out. Like to me, I don't think it's got to be that anal per se, but definitely it's a point in the right direction. So then at that point, you kind of want to work on the treaties and cultural exchange because that's kind of like your economy. So when you do bastions, you'll get more crystals. When you also do bastions, you'll earn more favor. So when you complete the quest, you'll be able to upgrade the bastions. And the bastions, when they're higher and higher, will give you more crystal mine work speed. And then they'll give you what is it, at level 6 they'll give you the support skills. But bastions are going to probably be its own short video. Okay, and then you got cultural exchange and treaties 1 and 2. They told me go ahead and max the treaties 2. That was the recommendation I got from a guide. Obviously I don't know all the information, and I kind of on the surface agree. You want to earn as many crystals as possible in that first fight and throughout the KVK. So because I'm spending like I am, I felt like treaties 2 to 10 was acceptable, but those last 2 levels are quite expensive. So maybe you just get it to 7 or 8. You're still getting most of the value, but for way less of the crystal cost. So maybe 7 would be more appropriate for somebody that was lower to try to do. And then cultural exchange, like I went overboard. Like again, like you see how expensive this last one is. That's how expensive treaties was. And honestly, I should have left this at about 8. I went 1 over, and I was like, it's for 8%. I felt like that was a bit much. But I think 8 is like super. 8 would be 8 or 7 would be more appropriate. I would call that a mistake. And then, right, once you get there, I focused on plunder. In order to get plunder maxed, you have to max first aid. That's fine. It's not too terribly expensive to max plunder. It's not as expensive as like the treaties and stuff was. And then now work. And then I think plunder. The reason why you want plunder, which I didn't really explain when I was talking about plunder one, is that when you do bastions, you'll get these things called kahar, bone whistles, and they're essentially like a lohar type of thing. It's right here. And I'll get one for completing this quest, and then you can summon that, right, and then you'll get some number of crystals. I hear it's a fair amount, you know, and usually you don't want to summon those kahars until you don't want to summon those kahars until you get your plunder to a spot that you want it at. So what I'm actually going to do today is go ahead and get this plunder to, like I was saying, like about 7 is what I'm going for. I'm just waiting for them to, for us to be able to attack the room so I can get hopefully a 15% research room so I can save a little bit of speed ups. And there's no rush for me to like, I can wait because I'm speeding it up anyway. Once I do it, it's done. Go ahead and, get that plunder. And then I feel like as far as like economics is concerned, um, that's that's about all you really need. Like once you get there, I feel like from what I could see in here, that's like the main economic stuff that you're most interested in. And then I think it's noteworthy that like again, that first 2 levels or so of stuff isn't that bad. And with the Cal Karak being a little difficult, the bars being a little difficult, just upgrading, this to 3, like I could get this done. It just helps, 24K crystals, especially because the barbarians are a little harder. Being able to stay out there and like grind the barbs is how a lot of people are going to get quite a bit of crystals. So I feel like it might be appropriate to get these to like 1, 2, 3 or so. Um, Obviously, you want to work on these guys, and one thing that I was looking at is like here. This is I could speed this up right now. 99.6K crystals, have a percent of infantry attack. Well, if I work my way down here, this is less crystals, and it's gonna give me the same attack. So, like sometimes make sure you're looking at this because like this will be better. It's cheaper, right? So like I know that I would pay attention to like because there's a lot of attack. Like all this is straight attack. It's so much attack for your troops, and then just work your way down the tree. I think once you get all of that done, who knows how far free to play can get from here. Before like the passes and stuff open up. But Call of Arms is going to be very good as like a next step because now my economy is more or less done. I like the march speed in here. That would be something I'll be interested in maxing. And then obviously the troop capacity I'm even more excited to do. I hear that getting it to 6 because I think you get bottlenecked at 6, but we'll see, in a little bit once I can get this research room, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I would say that's Crystal Tech. And now I have to go BNR4 and do some more flags. So hopefully the video is informative and what can I say? Shit, if it's informative, that's all it really needs to be. Amen. And I'll see you in the next video.